Good evening. In accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, laws of 1975, adequate electronic notice of this meeting was provided to the public notice on January 16th, 2025 by emailing to the Hunterdon County Democrat and the Express Times, posting on the district website and the main bulletin board of the district office, filing via email with the clerks of the following municipalities: Alexandria Township, Frenchtown Borough, Holland Township, Kingwood Township, and Milford Borough. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. The pledge of allegiance is to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. O'Brien, roll call, please.
Mrs. Drake?
Here.
Ms. Gordon?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here.
Mr. McGuire?
Here.
Ms. Finelli? Here. Mr. Crowley?
Here.
Mrs. Sari?
Here.
Mrs. Marvell?
Here.
Mrs. Meeting.
Here. We're going to start off tonight with student recognition. Students of the month, Mr. Case.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call up our May Student of the Month, Sophia Flacavento. It is my pleasure to recognize Sophia Flacavento as Delaware Valley's Student of the Month for May. Sophia was nominated by her biology teacher, Ms. Wilson, who praised her for embodying the values of perseverance, positivity, and kindness, qualities that make her a true role model in our school community. No matter the academic challenge, Sophia approaches her work with determination and an eagerness to grow. She doesn't back away from difficult material. Instead, she leans in, acknowledging frustration when it comes and working through it with courage and focus. Ms. Wilson shared that Sophia's resilience and quiet confidence set a powerful example for everyone around her. What makes Sophia stand out even more is the positivity and warmth she brings in every space she enters. She lifts the people around her, whether by helping a classmate, encouraging a friend, or simply offering a smile. Her kind, inclusive spirit is felt by students and teachers alike. Sophia is also deeply invested in her learning. She values the freedom Del Val offers to choose electives that match her passions, like fine arts, where she's currently working on an acrylic painting and was selected to present a pencil sketch for the Hunterdon County Teen Arts Festival. Her enthusiasm for learning shines especially in biology, where she says Ms. Wilson's class not only sparked her interest in science, but helped her feel more confident, curious, and genuinely excited to learn. In English, she connects literature to everyday life, even jokingly relating friendships to Romeo and Juliet. Projects like analyzing song lyrics have shown her how schoolwork can be fun and challenging. Looking ahead, Sophia is excited for classes like psychology, sociology, and woodshop next year, areas where she can continue to explore topics that connect her to her interests and her desire to help others. In looking farther ahead, because she's only a freshman, she's considering a lot of options after high school, but she's not ruling out the possibility of potentially being a future counselor. Outside the classroom, Sophia is an active member of the Del Val community. She competes in track and volleyball and participates in Key Club, Buddies, and Habitat for Humanity, and also plays club volleyball outside of Del Val. She says that volleyball in particular has helped her feel like she's part of one of the big family of the school, a place where she belongs and thrives. Sophia, thank you for being a leader, a learner, and a light in our school community. We are proud to recognize you as Student of the Month. Congratulations.
Would you mind getting a photo of each of the recipients in front of there with Mr. Case and with the parents, please, or family members? Appreciate it. Thank you. Parents, you're welcome to join over there too, please. Jaden, you can take your phone. Jaden, if you don't mind being the photographer for today. We're still trying to fill Mr. Epstein's slot here. So, big shoes to fill. Athletes of the month. Coach White. Thanks, Jaden.
For baseball, Cooper Cranston is our athlete of the month.
Critical 3-year varsity starter, and he's killing it again this year. As a freshman, he batted 386. He's staying consistent. He's at 389 right now. He leads our team. He's our shortstop. He's a relief pitcher, and he's our leadoff batter. I think probably the most important thing that I think he brings to our program is leadership. He's consistent. He does the right things. He represents Del Valle, our baseball program, the right way. He's exactly what we want to put out there, and you know, he does it every day. And he's been consistent all season. He's had 21 hits, 17 runs, 11 RBIs, and 8 walks, 12 stolen bases. He's batting 389. He leads the team in a bunch of those areas. And just a guy that we count on every day, and he shows up every day, the same mentality, desire to win, to do things the right way, a lot of respect towards his teammates, his opponents, and his sportsmanship is all top notch. So he does it on the field, off the field, and super proud of him. Love having him part of our team. Mom and Dad, want to come up, take a picture?
Coach Kirschman?
Hello, I'd like to bring up the Del Valle golf teams after the month. Sammy Pinelli. Sammy came out for the golf team last year as a junior, and she basically spent all of last season just learning how to play. She came to us from field hockey. If you know anything about field hockey, the stick's got to stay below your knee. So Sammy's golf swing last year went from like there to about there, and that was it. So that's what we started with, and we worked our way up. We had 3 girls on the team last year. They only got to play in 1 match, and it's tough to just come out to practice every day. But the 3 of them did that all last season. And I know between last season and this season, I know Sammy has had conversations with Mr. Jacobs about getting a full-on girls golf team here at Del Valle. I know she's also talked to the women's golf coach at Stevenson University, where she's attending next year. So I'm to see if she will be continuing her golf career there. Because this is, I mean, she basically learned how to play golf just a year ago, and that's where we're at. She is looking to start a team here. She wants that be part of her legacy. She's looking to possibly play in college. So this year we got a 4th girl to come out, and that made it kind of a historic season for our girls golf program. They played in their first ever team tournament a couple of weeks ago. We played in the Skyland Conference Girls Golf Championship on April 29th. And my knowledge, this is my 25th season. I think it's the first time our girls ever competed together as a team. So, you know, you may as well go out when you finally get that opportunity to do your best. So Sammy here shot an even 100 that day, which was good for 19th place out of 54 golfers. That was the low score of our team for the day. It led us to a 9th place finish out of the 13 schools in attendance. So for the first time we ever did anything like that, I would say that is job well done. Not only by Sammy, but by the rest of the girls also, but Sammy definitely led the way for us. So I hope we can continue to build on our legacy. 3 of the 4 are seniors. We're going to try to recruit and get some more girls out next year to help us out and to continue what we started. And Sammy's been a big part of that. So she is our athlete of the month.
Not with us tonight is Lily Ryerson and Coach Asa Whitaker. Lily's our softball athlete of the month, and she's out playing right now. So good job, Lily. Mr. Paul,
As we
art student of the month,
table this to the end of the ceremony of giving out plaques, because he's not here yet.
oh, sure, absolutely. So we'll move on to employee recognition. Mr. Case,
So as Mr. Kays and Mrs. Grady join us up front for they'll lead our celebration of Mr. England, the Delaware Valley High School Educator of the Year. I'd like to start by just thanking Mrs. Grady and Mr. Tennis, who's in the back, for chairing the Educator Year Committee once again, and working hard to identify the most deserving nominee out of a talented pool of educators. It's not an easy selection. We received more than 110 nominations for 39 different staff members. More than 79 of our students took the time to nominate a staff member for making a difference in their lives. Mr. England was nominated 8 times with representation from students and parents. And they're going to present, but one of the quotes that I thought was probably especially meaningful for any educator was one of the students who shared that Mr. England took his time to thoroughly explain this subject and make sure that everyone fully understood the concepts. As a result, a negative and frustrating situation was turned into a positive learning environment. And I think that's just a credit to what he does every day. So I'll turn it over to you. Congratulations, Mr. England.
It is an honor to recognize Mr. CJ England as the 2024-2025 Educator of the Year. If you were to ask any member of our staff or student body, I think they would all agree that Mr. England is well deserving of this recognition. Each year, the Educator of the Year Committee discusses the accolades of all those staff members who have been nominated for this award. And every year that I've been part of the process, Mr. England is discussed in serious consideration. Mr. England is known throughout the school as a teacher who students know is there for them. I cannot count how many times I've spoken to one of our Student of the Month recipients, and they've shared that he is their favorite teacher because he makes learning fun while still holding them accountable. And I've seen this firsthand when observing him teach. He has an amazing ability to make both our highest achieving upperclassmen in AP courses and freshmen and sophomores who struggle in science believe in themselves and believe that they can succeed. But Mr. England is also a supportive presence for our students outside of the classroom. I see this as he interacts with students in the halls or during lunch duty. He always has a positive demeanor and is thoughtful in his conversation and how his conversations will guide our students. Additionally, he offers the same support to his colleagues. I've seen this carry over in our staff workshops and his assistance to newer science teachers in the development of curriculum and instructional practice. Congratulations, CJ. I'm now going to turn things over to Mrs. Grady, the supervisor, to speak more about his accolades.
I am so proud and so happy to be here to speak on CJ's behalf as our Educator of the Year. CJ exemplifies everything we hope for as an educator. He is the model for student-centered learning, meeting learners where they are and working tirelessly to get them where they need to be. His classroom is a place, as Mr. Case said, where challenge and support go hand in hand. He gives of his time freely and without hesitation, meeting with students during his lunchtime, during his prep periods, and whenever else they may need him, even when he's on lunch duty. He is a pillar of our Biomedical Sciences Academy and extends his dedication beyond the academic sphere, assisting with wrestling and supporting his wrestlers on and off the mat. Every year, CJ refines his instruction, never settling, constantly evolving, and always finding ways to make his lessons more interactive and engaging without sacrificing academic rigor. His love for his subject is clear in every lesson he teaches, and that enthusiasm is contagious. Pop into his classroom on any given day, and you'll find students energized and engaged, largely because their teacher is smiling, excited, and fully invested in their learning. On a personal note, CJ has had a profound impact on me as a professional. His willingness to think outside the box and to take creative instructional risks has pushed me and many others to grow. He raises the bar not just for his students, but for all of us lucky enough to work with him. CJ is also legacy Del Val. He was raised in this very community, and now he's pouring his passion back into it. He represents the very best of what we strive for in education, a commitment to excellence, a heart for service, and a desire to see every student succeed. Del Val is stronger because of CJ England, and I am proud to celebrate his well-deserved recognition as Educator of the Year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
We'll move on to 2025 retiree recognition. Mr. Buska.
Thank you. Ask order. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we gather not just to say a fond farewell, but to honor a remarkable educator, colleague, mentor, coach, and friend, Mrs. Laura Pretty. As we celebrate her retirement, we also celebrate a lifetime of dedication, passion, and service to Delaware Valley Regional High School community, a place that has been more than just her workplace. For Laura, Del Val has truly been home. Mrs. Critty has spent 29 years here shaping young minds and bringing history to life in her classes, History 1 and 2, American Civilization and Global Study classrooms. But her connection to Del Val runs even deeper than those impressive 3 decades. Laura is a proud 1992 graduate of Delaware Valley Regional High School and begins well before even that happened, before she stood in front of the classroom. Laura walked these hallways as a student, just like her 2 sisters, Mary and Carol, who graduated before her. And if you go back even further, you'll find that her roots run to the very foundation of this school. Her mother, Gloria, was part of Del Val's first ever graduating class. It's hard to imagine a family more woven into the fabric of this school. In fact, education is in Laura's blood. Her parents, Gloria and Bob, who I know is looking down on here, God bless his soul, both teachers met in a very way that sounds like something out of a novel. Gloria and Bob interviewed for the same position at Alexandria Township. Bob got the social studies position, and because Gloria impressed the interviewer so much, they created an English position for her. That same passion for learning that Laura's parents had, the dedication to students and love for community, lives on with Laura. And if Del Val is where her story as a student and teacher began, it's also where she later raised 2 sons, Joey and Jack, who were also graduates of Delaware Valley Regional High School, proudly. Few people can say that they have truly ever lived a chapter of their life within the walls of one school. Throughout Laura's career, she has touched the lives of thousands of students, whether in the classroom or on the field as a field hockey coach, a basketball coach. She brought the spirit of competition, resilience, and character for everything she did. She's the kind of teacher and coach who instills lessons that went far beyond textbooks and scoreboards. Her colleagues know her as an organized teacher, the voice of reason with a common sense approach, and the only one you can always count on. Laura is thoughtful, dependable, and a true team player. She consistently put the needs of her students and the school ahead of her own. She mentored new teachers, lent a hand whenever needed, and helped build a department and culture rooted in support and professionalism. One of her very best friends, who's also here with us tonight, shared this, that her decades of teaching across the hall, Mrs. Coles, that Laura is a tough cookie with a huge heart. Laura, your impact here is immeasurable. You've left footprints not just on the curriculum or on the sports fields, but in the hearts of everyone lucky enough to work with you and be mentored by you. While we'll miss your wisdom, your calm demeanor, and your unwavering commitment to this school, we are so incredibly happy for you as you begin the next chapter of your life. We know you'll approach retirement with the same spirit and thoughtfulness you've shown throughout your career, whether it's traveling, spending more time with your family and friends, or just enjoying quiet moments that the school bell once interrupted. You've learned every bit. From all of us here at Del Val, thank you, Mrs. Critty, for the history you taught, the memories you've created, and the legacy you leave behind. You will be missed tremendously. Congratulations on the next chapter.
Mr. Bell?
Good evening. It's my honor to stand here today to speak about someone who has meant so much to our school, Mr. Rick Eston. When you think of Rick, a few things immediately come to mind: his quick wit, his deep knowledge of local history, and his unshakable dedication to serving others. But more than any of that, Rick has been the heart and soul of so many of our stories here at Delta. Rick came to Frenchtown in 1957, stepping into the role of editor of the Hunterdon County Democrat. Since then, he's become not just a chronicler of the area's events, but a published author and one of its most treasured storytellers. Sorry. As the borough historian of Frenchtown, Rick brought history alive through his walking tours. A fan favorite he shared with our A-Push class was the tale of Aaron Burr, yes, the killer of Alexander Hamilton, and how Burr most likely passed through Frenchtown. Rick has worn many hats at Del Val, and each one with care and humility. In the Library and Media Center, he has been a constant, matching students with the perfect book. Sharing free books to promote literacy, he goes out, finds them, brings them in, and connects them with kids. And during COVID, was delivering books and woodshop project kits straight to the students' homes. As our social media manager, and as we've noticed, the well-known man behind the camera, Rick used his journalism background to inform and connect our school community. His posts were timely, warm, and sprinkled with his signature wit, capturing the true spirit of Delta. Since he's been here, Rick has also coordinated our first ever Arts Hall of Fame inductions with professionalism and pride, honoring alumni in a way someone who truly values community and a champion for the arts could. Whether working behind the scenes or stepping up at just the right moment, Rick always asked, "What more can I do?" And while all of that is impressive, perhaps Rick's greatest impact has been with our students, especially those who need a little more understanding. Rick made an enormous difference in the lives of some of our most behaviorally challenged students. He never raised his voice, even in moments of discipline. Instead, he led with calm, respect, and kindness. And the response? Every student, no matter who they were, has respected Rick. They cherish their interactions with him. He has greeted every student with a warm hello, a kind word, and a genuine conversation. His partner in the Media Center, Ms. Tracy Maselli, has stated that Rick is a large part of why the Commons has become one of the most popular places in the school. Quote, "His presence there has been grounding, welcoming, and sincere, and it would be missed dearly." Rick, thank you for the laughter, the wisdom, the kindness, and the countless ways you've enriched our school, our lives. Thank you for being a part of our story.
We're gonna skip back up to our student development first. Just for the little Mr. Paul Rice here, if you want to refer to me. Yes, you hear me, this.
Thanks, Frank. Right. We definitely performed today. You just made it. Bach, come on. You are the practical arts student of the month. All right. So, Christian's finishing up his senior year, and I have no doubt I will be giving another speech on senior awards night to honor him. And then his wooden three table will be on display. Christian entered the woodshop program as a sophomore with previous experience working for a very high-end woodworker. Since then, he set up his own shop at home in Stockton and then founded his own company, Barn Builds Fine Woodworking. He sells stock pieces and makes pieces on commission. He is learning the trade in order to successfully make a living at building furniture. That is why I have nominated him for Student of the Month. This year, he was given a space in the back cave, our back storage room, to use as his studio, where he assembled, sanded, and finished a Nakashima style dining table. He even added a small epoxy pour into it. All the parts had to be fabricated first in the shop. His hand cut butterfly joints in the top were impeccable, as well as the rest of the execution building this piece. After he finished up the table several weeks ago, he has been helping his classmates. It's nice to end my career on such a high note, having such a gifted and talented craftsman with such a practical knowledge of woodworking like Christian. I know you're going to keep on going, and one day we'll make a living from everything that you have learned in this business. There will always be new designs and experiences to explore in your craft. After I retire from my contracting business in the future, who knows, I might even one day work for you. Congratulations, Christian.
There's this, you can slow walk, so Mr. Paul, got his photo taken. Sorry. So much.
So you, good evening, everyone. As I was reflecting on this, I was thinking back to many years now. In the winter of 2001, I joined Del Val as a little history guy who had all sorts of ideas and fantasies of what it meant to be an accomplished teacher. I imagined seminars like the ones I had in college, and someone said to me, "Why don't you stop by the wood shop for a bit?" And there, a dose of reality, what teaching looks like, dawned on me. The impression that I first had assaulted the senses. The smell of sawdust, linseed, and polyurethane were only overpowered by the blasting Metallica coming out of the room speakers. It was a place of hustle and bustle, projects at all stages of completion, all machines running, and a negative pressure that sucked the door closed behind you. A group of mostly young men who wanted to be there, despite not caring much else for what school had to offer. But they were making things, not just banging wood together. They were making cabinets, they were making furniture, they were making pieces that would hold pride of place in any home, and I trust still do. The language was a little coarse at times, but I suppose you have to fight your battles. But presiding over all of it would seem to be a madman flying around from one station to another, barking orders over the din, knowing exactly what that student needed at that precise moment to keep the workflow moving. It was as intimidating as it was unreal. 25 years on, you would see something very much the same. Far more young ladies in the mix now, thankfully, but still the same pride of accomplishment, and still making the whole crazy thing work, as if by magic, Mr. Paul. I didn't get to know Josh very well until I started directing plays and he was in charge of set construction. I think you will agree that I could be very particular about what I wanted on stage. And I think that after a time, Mr. Paul appreciated that. His unit sets for the spring play then were as grand as the stately homes that they emulated. I also realized that working with him, that I'd never really been in the presence of genius before. But a few weeks watching one man and his minions transform a bare stage into a home, whether it be the Adamses, the Brewsters, or Rydell High, or even that of Lord and Lady Croom. You know that the man behind it was part architect, part artist, and part project manager. Josh has been a friend and colleague of mine these many years. One who does not shy away from a heated, fierce conversation from time to time, but one who has also inspired generations of students to make something that they can be proud of. Lou DeLulo was one of the longest serving of Josh's supervisors, bringing him on board for the 99-2000 school year, tasking him with reviving an area that was fast being written out of many high schools. Shop classes were sent off to polytechnical high schools, putting them out of the reach of many in the general population. But fortunately for us, the leadership and dedication of this man means that Del Val has a program of such great value to our students and our community that it is one of the most requested classes that we offer. The shop runs all day, every day. One little glimpse into the effort that it takes reminds me of the COVID years, when you'd imagine woodshop classes would have come to a halt. But Mr. Paul and his colleague, Mr. Pearl, would work often in isolation to make small projects that were delivered to students who could then assemble them and finish them at home. It was, I imagine, a bit like Santa in his workshop. And I imagine, and Mr. Paul, I don't know whether you know how many times I have heard people since then say how much they have appreciated, students have appreciated that during those long spring of isolation and social distancing. I could go on, but sir, you have indeed deserved a rest. And while it is a profound loss for the school, I know that the legacy of your work here over the last 26 years will not easily be forgotten by your colleagues, nor by the hundreds and thousands of students who have been impacted over the years. So on behalf of the administration, on behalf of your department, as a friend and colleague, we will miss you. And we wish you all the best in this next chapter.
Mr. Jensen, social studies teacher, and Ms. Roll, special education teacher, are also retiring. They could not be here tonight. So I'd like to wish them congratulations. We're going to take a short break now, and there are some refreshments, cookies over here. Before we do that, you guys are free to mingle and then come back and see the rest of the business of the board, or you can go home to your families, it's your choice.
Yes,
Okay, we're showing us here, Mr. Hayes, principal report, please.
Well, again, everyone, I'd like to congratulate all of our retirees and our educator of the year. I'd also like to recognize and thank Jaden for his 2 years of service as the board rep and the impromptu role in his last act as serving as photographer of the ceremony. He was not prepared, but when called upon, he executed perfectly. So thank you, Jaden. On May 2nd, and I know it hasn't been very long since our last meeting and my last report, we had our annual prom, junior and senior prom at the senior steel stacks in Bethlehem. This was also an early dismissal for students, and during that afternoon, staff received professional development training in lesson development in the stations and an intro to the selected summer book option called The Anxious Generation. Last week, our AP students began their AP exams, and these will continue through the week. Testing month continues next week with the freshmen and juniors as they begin the NJSLA tests. On May 20th, we have our spring concerts for all of our music ensembles. On May 22nd, we will have our annual freshman field day, followed by the senior field day and barbecue along with senior awards night, which will be on June 3rd, which quickly brings us to the final exams and the graduation practice on June 12th and our annual commencement ceremony for our graduates on June 13th. Scary, just to be in here.
Any questions for Mr. Case? Thank you. Move on to public comment. Public comment is an opportunity for the public to comment on agenda items and to observe the board conducting the business of the board. It is not an opportunity to dialogue with the board. Public participation shall be governed by the following rules. A participant must be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface comments by an announcement of your name, place of residence, and group affiliation if appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes duration. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members individually. The board, pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, shall not publicly discuss personnel matters and shall not respond to comments made by members of the public. Please be aware that any person employed by the Delaware Valley Regional High School District Board of Education retains the right of privacy and shall retain all rights regarding defamation and slander according to the laws of New Jersey. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Abigail Drake, and I'm here to discuss our dance teacher, Heather Fletcher. I'm here with several of my friends and classmates. It's been brought to our attention through the publicly posted agenda that the board wants to make Fleischman a part-time teacher and reduce her classes next year. Freshman year, my 3B intro to dance class was a much-needed break from all the drama and stress. Dance isn't always easy, but every challenge in Miss Fleischman's class was something my classmates and I tackled with enthusiasm. I can't recall another class that's ever made me feel so eager to learn. Choreography and dancing, especially in our musicals, is a big part of what sets us above other schools in terms of our theater program. I can't tell you how many kids I've met from other New Jersey high schools who were shocked and jealous that our school even had a dance program. More than anything, dance builds a sense of community. I've made so many new friends since my freshman year, and I have Fleischman and Del Valle's dance program to thank for that. Since Fleischman has taught here, dance and the connection it sparks has become an integral part of Del Valle's, just as much as wrestling or football. I know countless students who are looking forward to continuing or beginning their journey in dance next year. In addition to classes in the musicals, Ms. Fleischman also runs our school's unified theater program, where future and current thespians collaborate with our special ed kids to put together a cabaret at the end of May. It's unbelievably fun, and it builds a sense of Del Valle pride and spirit in all of us. I suggest you attend the unified cabaret on May 28th, where the night of shorts on June 5th, where my commercial dance class and the intro to dance classes will show off what they've learned this year. Ms. Fleischman has been a mentor, a role model, and even a friend to hundreds of students since she came to this school. And she's helped countless people find their confidence, their home, and their future in dance. Dance is one of the biggest jewels in Del Valle's crown. I hope you will hear us and continue to help Ms. Fleischman keep this program alive and thriving. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Christian Shevchuk, and I'm also here to discuss Ms. Fleischman. She is an incredibly dedicated and spectacular teacher. She has helped me in so many ways and has made a huge impact on my confidence in dance and on stage. She's always willing to help and be supportive to all students. Not only does she carry the whole dance department on her shoulders as the only dance teacher, she's also heading the Unified Theater, which is a great opportunity to unite the buddies and theater programs, and is adored by everybody involved. Not only is she an incredible dance teacher, she's also an amazing aide. She is currently an aide in my math class this year, and she has been so helpful to me, especially since math isn't my strong suit. Mrs. Fleischman is so flexible and is always helping me better understand math, since I have a hard time understanding certain topics. Ms. Fleischman is always patient, and after every time I ask for her help, I always leave with a firm understanding of what the lesson was. She is the best choreographer I've ever worked with. She was always considerate of others and treats everyone equally, no matter their dance experience. She also recognizes everyone's potential and always makes the show's choreography phenomenal. She has been recognized for her talent numerous times, with Paper Bowl nominations for Addams Family and Musings, and she's also been nominated for Perry Awards for Outstanding Choreography in 42nd Street and Beauty Movies. Every time a Del Valle musical goes to a competition, there's always someone who remarks about how incredible dancing is, and that is all a result of Mrs. Fleischman's unwavering dedication and commitment to her work. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Hello all, I would like to talk about Ms. Fleischman. As many of you know, Ms. Fleischman, our dance, is a dance teacher and choreographer for our musicals. Ms. Fleischman works so hard to make dance fun. She works tirelessly to see her students succeed. I mean this when I say I've never seen a teacher connect with so many students on all different backgrounds and skill levels so well. She has helped me and so many of my peers gain confidence, not only in performance, but ourselves. She has spent hundreds of hours working musicals, leading with a gentle but firm hand. Without her dedication and outstanding attitude, Del Valle's performing arts would not be what it is. Del Valle is known for mainly wrestling and theater, and that is a huge reflection on her work. This is why I do not believe that she should be moved to part-time. Now, we are not the only ones who have found a place in dance at Del Valle. While Gail was organizing for students to attend this meeting, she reached for our Del Valle alumni. People whose names you've heard headlining our school musicals, like Dakota Press, Owen LaRue, Grace Alive, Abby Kuster, none of which can make it tonight. Many haven't yet arrived home from college, but they've all sent much love and support for Fleischman and insist we speak for them since they cannot be here. Miss Fleischman is an inspiring person, and her classes build confidence and of everyone who passes through this school. How many of our well-known alumni are succeeding in their careers, continuing their education and following their dreams because of her incredible teaching?
Hi, my name is Sadie Thiessen. I'm also speaking on behalf of Ms. Fleischman. I didn't come up with a speech, but she is one of the most incredible people I know. I march in her room every day. It's a safe space. So when I found out that there was a chance that commercial dance wouldn't be running next year, it kind of took me as a surprise because her dance classes are already hard enough to get into as it is. They're always filled. I didn't even get in this year, and I tried really hard with my counselor. But she's always positive. It's a positive and safe environment for everybody in there. If you take a step in there during lunch, you're seeing people working on dances for the competitions outside of school, or talking or sitting in the corner, even kids that are sleeping in the corner because they've had such a hard day at school. Her space is just so welcoming. And the thought of that potentially not being there honestly scares me a little, because I don't personally like our school's lunchroom. I don't like going in there. I don't like being a part of it. And I found somewhere where I can kind of make myself at home at the school, which is really nice for a freshman. I mean, going into that room and seeing all of my friends is just such a great feeling every day. And I don't know, it's just, when I heard that we were all speaking on this, I was like, okay, like, why not? I'll say something. I'll talk for my person. I mean, she's helped me so much this year, and I just think it should be recognized. That's all I have to say.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Lilly, and I'm also speaking on the topic of Ms. Fleischman. I also don't have a speech. I just came from jazz band, And Christian, my friend, just ran out the hallway and he was like, we're speaking on Miss Fleischman and trying to, so hearing that, I was shocked because Miss Fleischman is such a wonderful woman. She is such an asset to our school. I don't take one of the dance classes, they're as competitive to get into, but I know her from the musical. I was in the pit orchestra and I messed with my school one time. She really, she speaks her mind and her words, they helped me to like push myself to get that solo perfect. She just pushes me every day. She's in my math class. She also helps in my math class. She's always there when you need help with a problem. And she's like that in every aspect of her work, not just in math class. I've never been like a dancer on the Belleville stage, but seeing what she does with those dancers, it's just so like astounding. Every time I see a Belleville production, I'm in awe because her work is so incredible. And that's like what it does to me, which is it makes you in awe. So yeah, I love her. She's a great person.
Yes, please.
Hello, I'm Carrie Snodgrass. I am also talking on Heather's behalf. I directed the musical this year, and so it was my first opportunity to work with her. My daughter's a senior, she's graduating, she was taking dance classes with Heather. And she's not shy, but she's not really open to being extroverted with people she's not comfortable with. And Heather really let her have that opportunity when she took her dance class. And my daughter's been in every performance ever since. I would hate for the school to lose Heather, like as an adult, part-time, full-time, your bills to pay, we have things we have to get done. And I know South Hunterdon is looking to have a new performing arts program, which I was really hoping Del Val would expand theirs, and instead it's going the opposite direction. And I'd urge you guys to have a more long view of the future, because taking it away and then putting it back is a lot harder than just continuing a bit. And as far as the dancers, these wonderful children keep talking about, I don't know how many of you saw our musical, but we only have 3 dancers. Everyone else was taught by Heather for the show. And we had 36 kids in our show this year. And they all looked amazing and they danced beautifully because of her. She uses counts, and if that doesn't work, we'll do ba-da-da-da-da-da. And if that doesn't work, we'll use words. She can find a way for every student to learn and excel. And I really think that would be a detriment to lose her based on hours. I think it's a program that's worth having here. I think it's a program that can compete with Polytech because they have a huge campus opening up in a couple of years, and that's a 4-year program, and students are gonna go. So I think having a program here that we could expand upon and make bigger and better and have that safe space for these students is so vital and important, and sets us apart and makes us a place people wanna go because they have those opportunities to learn, excel, feel safe, and grow. So thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Louise Engel from Alexandria Township. I've never taken dance. And I probably never will, but Heather Fleischman, she's all that. So I'm here about that also. I hope that you will consider restoring Heather Fleischman's position to full-time. Because you know that decreasing full-time teacher to a part-time teacher, you usually lose that teacher. I was at Alexandria, happened with a theater teacher there. Their theater program was gone once they went to a 4-hour school because they couldn't afford it. So it would be a loss to pay for the people that pay tuition, but also come here from like North and other schools to not have Heather. They're probably would think of pulling out since, the chorus teacher has resigned. The director of musicals has taken a leave, and now the dance person who choreographs and is renowned in the county and state, may have to make a choice for financial reasons. On tonight's agenda, under the board goals and evaluation, that for 2024 and 2025, you list in an effort to attract and retain students, review student enrollment in existing academies and expand academy offerings to meet evolving student needs and interests and goals. So how does decreasing the dance teachers to a part-time position, how is it going to attract them and want them to stay here? Students like my daughter, who is in the Performing Arts Academy, who could have gone to Voorhees, but because Del Valle is renowned and has always been, I volunteer at 3 different high schools. I volunteer at Voorhees for the theater program, I volunteer at North, and I volunteer here. And if you could hear what the kids say about Del Valle's program, it would just make you so proud. It really would. So think about that, about like knocking another person down. And as Carrie said, South Hunterdon has jumped the gun. They're starting a Performing Arts Academy. They're going to start pulling from the different schools who are going to be offering these things. I sat here last year in freshman orientation night with parents, and we listened to the curriculum coordinator at the time, who was selling us to say, stay at Del Valle. The academy, don't go to the academies. My son did go. He went to North. Lucy stayed here for this program. So I implore you, to make the right decision, rethink Heather's position and cutting her hours, because it would be a great service to students and to the program and to your school. Thank you so much. Nice to see all of you. And I bet you're really glad that you got a crowd tonight. It does get lonely being a board member. Thanks a lot.
Hello, my name is David Haysom. I have a freshman. She just spoke turns ago. I'm also speaking on the subject of Heather Fleischman. I am a volunteer at the schools. I've been a stay-at-home parent for a bunch of years. I just started becoming a voice teacher, and I'm a performer by trade. And I'm applying my teaching to volunteering at the schools. So 3 years ago, I started volunteering at Alexandria Township as the guy who basically works with the musical and works with the singers. And that's where I came into contact with Heather, where we worked together. And for the last 3 years there, we've been working as colleagues, basically. And this year, I volunteered here at the high school for the musical, where I did the same thing. I wasn't approved by you guys, so I couldn't work individually with students, but I was able to come in and use my skills. So I got to work with Heather, and I know her very well. And I see her interaction with the students, and I have seen other teachers' interactions with the students, and I've been watching the students as the parent who interacts with the school. She's special. She's a special teacher. And you don't lose teachers like this. Guys, this is the wrong one. She puts everything into it, and she brings immense value. I mean, like, I'm not cheap as a voice teacher. She would not be cheap as a dance teacher. Her skill level is incredible, and her rapport with the students is amazing. To lose a teacher like this would be a major, major, major mistake. I volunteer my time. I'm not asking you guys for anything for what I'm giving you, right? But I am asking you to rethink this, because this is not the right move. This is not the place that you save money, because you're not saving any money. You're going to lose a lot. If you lose this teacher, you're asking her to go to part-time. We all know what that means. You're asking her to leave, because somebody can't survive on part-time work. So I'm begging you, as a person who has been giving to this music program just all of my time and all of my love and care, this is a huge mistake, and you have to rethink it. I'm begging you. Thank you.
Yes.
I don't have a speech prepared, but I had a couple notes. On my first day at Del Val, I've pretty much never been in the building before. I had no idea how to get anywhere. And Miss Fleischman was the first teacher I saw when I walked into the building. And so I said, "Are you Miss Fleischman?" She said, "Yeah, of course." I was looking, you're Christian, right? I was looking at the pictures. So she walked me into her room and we had our first class ever, first period. And then I had no idea how to get to my second block class. So I said, do you know how to get here? I mean, of course she would know because she's worked here. But I said, "Can you help me get here?" And she walked me all the way, she walked me down here to show me how to get to my class. And she taught me a little trick that I've like taught a lot of people now. C hall for cafeteria, B hall for band room. Helped me since the beginning of the school. But I joined the theater program this year, and I've done theater for the past I've done it since 7th grade. I started in 7th grade, and I did all the backstage stuff. But I never thought I would do on-stage theater. I never thought I would be that person, and Miss Fleischman really helped me get to that person. So I think she's so welcoming to anyone, and I think you're like, she needs to stay. She's such a great teacher. And 7th grade, my first year doing theater backstage, I was like, I'm done doing this. I'm not doing this again next year. And then I saw Addams Family and I said, I'm definitely doing this again next year because I want to do it at high school. That show was incredible. And yeah, so it's brought me to my first Del Val musical, and it was one of the greatest experiences I've had this year. So I just want to thank her for that. And thank you all for listening to all of us.
Anyone else? Seeing no hands, seeing no voices, I'll close public session. Before we move on to our next session, I do want to make one comment. We cannot comment on specific personnel matters at all. However, we can provide clarity with regard to course offerings and curriculum. And with that being said, I'll leave you with 4 bullet points. Del Val has 1 dance teacher. Del Val has 4 dance classes this year. And Del Val will have 4 dance classes next year. And there's no change in curriculum. So I just want to leave you guys with that bit of information. Mr. McKinney?
I would like to turn it over to Jaden for what maybe his final meeting with us as representative for the Board of Education. So Jaden, stage is yours.
The boys lacrosse team is 9-6. They have a match in the 14th against Davidson. Girls lacrosse still having an amazing season. They've only taken 1 loss since our last meeting. They're 13-1. They play in Oakland tomorrow. Baseball is 9-7 and 5-5 in Southern Conference. And they will Southampton. That's all.
Unfortunately, Bello was not able to join us. So I will go into my report. I'd like to start by just echoing all the positive things that were said about our retirees and our educators here. Really amazing things happening in our classrooms and really talented teachers. We're gonna hate to see them go. I'd also like to echo some of the good news that has been shared earlier. 2 students were selected for the All-State Chorus, which allows them to practice and perform with talented peers across the state. Our girls track team became Skyline Conference Valley Division champions scrapping for the necessary points to beat Manville and Immaculata. Finally, 13 of our individual students and 3 of our group performances were selected to represent Del Val and Hunterdon County at the State Teen Arts Festival. We are pleased to be sending a full bus of talented artists to Middlesex County College. Last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and we kind of try to expand that, and we celebrate our teachers in typical Del Val style, which is short for they were well fed over the last week. So many different groups stepped up to say thank you and made an effort to offer gratitude and respect for the work of our educators on a daily basis on behalf of their students. I did want to pass on their thank you to the Board of Ed for their contributions to this celebration last Friday. While this meeting is focused on the renewal of staff members for next year, I wanted to draw attention to the policy discussion from our last meeting. The policy committee met last week to clarify the language on policy 5516, use of electronic communication devices, and returning it to a first read for the board's consideration. We also completed our required 3-year comprehensive equity plan. As expected, our review of necessary policies reflected compliance, and there's no need for any corrective action plans. And Jay will be cut out before I can congratulate him. But for those of you that don't know, Jaden has decided to attend Drexel University as a business major, and he will also be a Division I wrestler for them. Just one quick journey over the bridge to watch him if you want to watch him compete at that level. So we wish him well. We know he'll be successful. Based on what he's done at Del Val. Bella was going to get the full court press to make sure that she came back for her senior year, and we've already begun the process to identify a rising junior to join us in her place for the upcoming school year. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. McKinney? So page 5, could I have a motion for 6-1, please? Second. Roll one, Ms. O'Brien.
Straight. Yes.
Yes.
Eastland.
Yeah.
Mr. Lockwood.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Snow.
Yes.
Mr. Barley.
Yes.
Say.
Yes.
Snow.
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney.
Yes. In your report, when you're ready, Ms. O'Brien?
Yeah, we had a special board meeting on June 9th. The next regular action meeting will be June 23rd. This is now going to be June list. A reminder about the New Jersey School Board's convention, I need to send out the Google Form survey for anyone who may want to attend. If you can see that, you can respond to you by to attend. If you can read that, that would be very helpful. And school board candidate petitions are available on the July 28th. The seats that are available are 2 Holland seats and 1 Memphis.
Any questions for Ms. O'Brien? I'll just say when it comes to the convention, leading up to October, those of you who haven't been, I'm one of those that hasn't been, I'm not sure that my work travel schedule permits, but if anybody would like to attend, let's have a conversation about it and see what offerings you'd like to, and what the cost is, we'll evaluate from there as a board.
Just one more thing to add that should have been in my report, but fits nicely here, is that we were notified that Mr. Crowdy and Ms. Gordon received board certification at the last county board meeting, and we'll recognize that
21 years on that.
you're good when the due date's coming. But it's one of our goals and, we thank you for those efforts to get that done and, receive recognition for your work in our board.
Motion for E1 to approve the minutes, please.
Motion to.
Mr. Drake was not known. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Drake?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mrs. Sarah?
Yes.
Mrs. Mono?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes. For liaison reports, it seems like we blinked and since the last meeting, and that's it. However, we'll go around on the horn here. Mr. Friday, do you have any updates?
Sure, so we did have another, it was actually the last Hunterdon County SBA meeting on Thursday, May 1st, the last one for the year. There were basically just two items on the agenda. One was electing the county SBA officers. And Tara Marie Heights was elected president, Karen Gove, first vice president, and Jennifer Seibert, second vice president. And thank you, Scott, for pointing out the Ellen and I as recipients for the certification. But also Tom received a new board member certification.
Oh, I did? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so maybe you'll get that in the mail. And anyway, that's pretty much it until next year.
Thank you. Mr. Lockwood, do you have anything on vocational?
No, they haven't met.
Okay. Mr. McGuire, any legislative updates?
No legislative.
And Mr. Lockwood, I kind of fumbled through, let's just, where did we leave off last time and where are we going with the ad hoc?
It is in Scott and Teresa's hands to come back to us if there's a change. We had taken it about as far as we can within this room. And I think the idea was bold. Steph, can you help me out here a little bit?
We'll resume again, correct?
We'll resume again, yes.
So the budget's done.
Yeah, so our next July meeting with the NJASA Government Relations Committee, we actually have an in-person meeting on Wednesday. I share a version of what we put together, more tailored to legislators, with our person who can give us some feedback on that. So I'm hopeful that this week I'll receive some feedback that I can share with the committee on next steps and tailoring our message down the legislative road, parallel to what we're doing on the school board's road.
Great, thank you. Operations Committee, Mr. Brady.
Right, we did not meet prior to this. Teresa sent out an update, which I'll go over briefly. We had one contract renewal with Berners Township will be which will be an action item 10.2, and that's for routing services transportation. Another, discussion item, varsity and JV baseball fields were in need of some help. The varsity field has been attended to. The JV, I think, not yet, but they're planned for it. The tennis courts, Ellen, which we were talking about last time, there's some pretty big cracks across the tennis courts. I had a look at them today. It looks like we've pretty much filled them in. I'm not sure if they're entirely finished yet, but if not, they certainly got a good start in filling those cracks. And I don't know, a week or so ago, I had a look at the pickleball nets. It looks like they were just taken out and set to the side. One of them was definitely broken. The other one, I think, was just disassembled. I'm not sure what the disposition is of those that are going to be replaced or worked on. But I just wanted to include that. That's about it for updates, so I would like to move.
Actually, I have a few questions.
Okay,
So actually, I will let you know that I did my little walk around JV baseball field and standing on free. It actually looks good. It's like carpet good. The tennis courts. Is there a plan to repaint? It says we're gonna paint the lawns. Are we repainting the pickleball courts or what are we doing?
That's something we're gonna continue to talk about, and we're gonna have follow-up at the next, committee meeting. We'll talk about what's gonna exactly, what exactly we're gonna, do as far as the painting. I know we need 3 tennis courts. And then we can talk about, we did, Arnie and I discussed putting the pickleball on the one court at once.
The funny is the crack is right down the middle of the kitchen in the pickleball. It's just really perfect place. It wouldn't harm anything. And the baseball field, is it useful now?
They're gonna play on it starting Monday.
actually, I have a question for you, Teresa, regarding the tennis courts. The last few times I've been there, they've been locked. Is the plan once they're ready to go to have it open for the public or?
Yes, that's.
Okay.
Can we make sure that's added to the operations committee agenda?
Yes, we'll be following up on those items at
Great.
operations.
Thank you.
Any other questions before I move items? All right, then, I would like to move items 10.1 to 10.3.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Baldwin. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bryan,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire,
Yes.
Mrs. Terry,
Yes.
Mrs. Ray. Yes. Ms. Gordon.
Yes.
Mr. Laughlin.
Yes.
Mrs. Snelling.
Yes.
Mrs. Sarno. Yes. Mr. Sherman.
Yes. Finance committee, Mr. Sari.
Yes, so the finance committee also did not meet this past month, but there are some updates from Teresa in an email update. Just to mention a few. There needed to be the approval of the food service management contract with the state required slight revisions that change. So that's up again, a motion, the ESEA amendment to a small amendment that then needs to go to the state for some line items. A motion to approve the agreement with current board attorney legal services. And then travel, I had to look up it's the anatomy, right? The for the biomed the anatomy documents. So those are the I'd like to do 11.1 for them.
Second, anyone?
Oh, sorry, second.
Any questions or comments on the agenda items? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Terry.
Yes.
Mr. Laughlin.
Yes.
Mr. Bryan.
Yes.
Mrs. Terry.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes.
Mr. McGuire.
Yes.
Snelling.
Yes.
Mrs. Sarno. Yes. Mr. Sweetie.
Yes. Negotiations committee did not meet. Personnel committee, Mr. McGuire.
This was a lengthy one, it's about, renewal of tenured and non-tenured, non-certificated staff. We discussed some of that in executive. So I would like to move action items 13.1 through 13.34.
Second.
Any questions or comments on the items moved? Roll call please.
McGuire.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes.
Smelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Drake.
Yes, with the exception of 13.27, from which I will recuse myself.
Mr. Loughlin.
Yes.
Mr. Rowdy.
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Ms. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes. Policy Committee, Ms. Drake.
The policy committee met briefly on Tuesday, May 6th. The main discussion topic was the policy 5516, use of electronic communication devices. Based on questions from our April 28th meeting here. We revisited the policy. Mr. McKinney made some very poignant changes to it to make sure that it was less up to interpretation and read more the way it was supposed to of use of electronic communication devices rather than a cell phone policy. So the changes were sent out to you. And we had second read, but that is now going to be a first read policy for tonight because the changes were relatively significant. And the second read policies for tonight are listed as P5111 and P5701, P2430, and there are no policies to be abolished. So I'd like to move 14.1 and 14.2.
Second.
Listen on the.
Yes.
You can say that. Yes.
So I'm a member of the public and I'm looking at meeting minutes and I see that we had a first reading of 5516 in April, and now I see we're having another first reading. How do we explain that? I mean, if I'm a member of the public, I don't know that significant revisions were made because we don't share revisions. So how? And I'll call the school and say, why are there two first readings?
Because there were significant revisions to the policy. That's the only.
Any other questions on the two items moved? Roll call please.
Straight.
Yes.
Mr. Loughlin.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes.
Mr. McGuire.
Yes.
Smelly. Yes. Mr. Rowdy.
Yes.
Ms. Terry.
Yes.
Ms. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Sweet.
Yes. Ms. Finelli, Education and Student Affairs.
The Education and Student Affairs Committee met virtually on Monday, May 5th. The items discussed were the state required 3-year CEP plan, which we just voted on. The HIB grade report was also shared with us. The board also accepted that report tonight and will now be posted on the website. We shortly will approve the annual membership with the NJSIAA to allow for us to compete and participate in the interscholastic athletics and state tournaments. And there was also a broader discussion about the academy programs. There was consensus that positive strides, have been made. And strong communication with the sending districts is ongoing. And the topic will be continue to be ongoing as well within committee and within the board. That being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve 15.1.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call please.
Smelly.
Yes.
Mrs. Drake.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes.
Mr. Loughlin.
Yes.
McGuire.
Yes.
Rowdy.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Mrs. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Sweet.
Yes. Good.
So I just want to go back to what I heard Frank say. I want to make sure I understand. So for performing arts, we had 4 classes last year, correct? And now we have 4 classes this year. Correct?
Correct.
Declining enrollment? Do we know yet?
No, the master schedule isn't completed yet. But we know that we're planning on offering for it in this upcoming year.
Does anyone have any new business? I'll just piggyback on what Mr. Nelly was saying about the academies. We added that to the agenda to talk about, so we can have a more robust committee discussion on what's the plan for the academies. I just want to share this with the whole board on, are we good with the amount of academies that we have now? Do we need to add more? Do there need to be less? Do there need to be more subsections of existing academies? What do we look like 5 years down the road in the academies? What's kind of critical mass for academies? You know, do you want to go up to 7, 8, 9, 10 academies, and then what? Then there's no regular curriculum. Where are all these breaking points? What do the parents and the students want, and how do we fit into there? And at any point, if any of the board members have ideas on that, or thoughts or suggestions, and you're not on that committee, please feel free to email Ms. Pinelli. And you can copy me, and then we'll go from there and bring it into the discussion and share it with the full board.
Right, are you planning to have a retreat, sir? So like that would be a topic.
Sorry?
A strategic, well, I know we have a strategic plan, but we're gonna have a board retreat.
I don't know, we haven't discussed it yet. Yeah, we can talk more about that.
Seems like a topic.
It'd be useful to do a deeper dive, you're right. Anyone else do business?
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like maybe we should give, maybe do a pilot of committee,
Of the whole.
yeah, board meeting of the whole. Maybe try it in the summer when it's less busy. I just feel disconnected from certain committees, and I feel like, you know, we don't get enough time to review committee minute meetings and be able to have an exchange since we get that stuff permanently. And I think if we are able to have the board meeting of the whole, we can all talk about different things, just as a pilot. I don't want to change the whole routine. I know we're all used to, the committees. I think a lot of you have value and intermix into the other things. So, to hear other opinions.
I think Mr. Laughlin's idea on a retreat may serve that purpose. The reason I'm hesitant to talk to the whole board and kind of go down the road of committee as a whole is in 3 years of being on this board, I try to imagine us meeting on every one of these topics at the level of depth.
Bring your ticket back.
That we do in those committees with the amount of business that the school board does. I mean, I said, this is my first year sitting on all of those committees. And it's a lot. I would think that we're looking at 6 to 9 hour meetings here, committee as a whole. When we get everybody involved, that's my thought off the top of the head. The other idea is we're sharing all of the information. We're pushing notes out. People can read at their leisure. I understand that Alexandria, where you guys came from, you operated as committee as a whole.
I know we're smaller school,
Smaller school, but that's what you were accustomed to as well. Mr. McKinney and Teresa and I and some of the board members, we've discussed this. We think we have a good thing going here, and Ellen has the experience on this board, so.
I think for the build up where we get into a lot of details with meetings. And we all signed up to be a member of the board, so you find, this is so hard, find the time to read minutes. I'm on one
committee, you see what I do here at this meeting. And I know I added 30 minutes to the April board meeting, but I go through every 7 minutes and I go through the agenda. And I'm just as busy as every single person on the team. So I don't buy it that we get things late. If the answer is that the chairs need to have addressed it, so the committee making minutes out sooner, then that's the answer. Read the minutes. Trustin Scott is very open to answering questions ahead of time. Ask them and then repeat it in public. Because honestly, anything you ask them on the agenda should be asked in public anyway. So I don't see it working, but I'm not gonna be here past December stuff. I mean, it's gonna be long and we get into a lot of excruciating detail. And can you imagine the budget meeting here? So I think you gotta remember, we're not Alexandria, we're not Holland, we're not Noble, we're the Delaware board, and we found we get into a lot of good detail. And
I just feel like some of the committees are lacking some, different perspectives.
The committee reports don't go into the depth that you would get if you were on the committee. I mean, you can't meet for an hour. There's a lot of back and forth, little things that like get put down and don't make it in the committee reports. So I mean, there is a difference.
Absolutely, I do agree with that.
Just to try, it wasn't like committed.
No, I understand, wanna, have all the opinions out on the table. And we can continue to discuss it, I'm not in favor of it right now, and I think as a board, if we continue to discuss it, we can see where it goes.
May I ask a question? Marcy, are you looking for more interaction among the board members? Or are you, is it specifically around committee business or just kind of broad, better understanding and interaction among the board?
It's a couple things, right? It's everybody's going to be communicating amongst each other and developing camaraderie, so we're together. There are several people here that are on no committees that, so that's kind of exchange.
Oh, you can call me anytime.
So that's one piece. The other piece is, I think if you have a lot of opinions on one committee, like all of us have opinions on certain things, and I think you could, value adds those things. Like when we were talking about, expanding the, looking at all our academies and stuff like that. I know Bill has great ideas, Alan has great ideas and experience that could benefit from having those discussions, and I feel like we're too siloed with stuff all. And it's worth looking at siloing and giving it a try. I find that you kind of move through things a little bit faster. It's being something. With the referendum. Construction and budgets, and I think we have a lot of stuff, but I'm not comparing.
No,
The volumes much more.
It's surprising how much you get to improve.
Yeah.
But
you're motivated to get further,
how many committees do we have, and how much time do we generally reserve for a committee meeting? About an hour or so. I mean, on the day that we do our 3 committees, they're pretty much boom.
I like the thought about the board retreat. As new to the board, I don't know how that's happened in the past or what that encompasses, but. I think that might be the first step to just more talking deeply on some of these subjects like families.
Yeah, perhaps the retreat is a good way to, if we were to do one at the beginning of the year and the end of the year. Kind of set a direction for the board. And then let's see where we're successful. So.
Can I ask when the last retreat was? Or what it looked like? Is it just a day?
What's a retreat? It's not the board going together in a private session, it's open to the public.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Maybe you were here 4 or 5 years ago.
I thought we had a retreat last summer.
No.
We're still different.
Oh, no, oh, yeah.
Any other new business?
I just wanted to make mention of the regionalization study that we had pledged to watch its progress at Holland's leading. I think I heard that it may have a public meeting in June, but quote me on that, I don't know. I was thinking further.
Russ, do you have any updates you can share?
Just, we don't have a specific date yet, there's a possibility that it could be in June, but we haven't received the report. And I'm not sure whether it's going to be in draft form with a combined executive session of the Holland and Frenchtown boards to review a draft before there's a final, so we're still working on those details.
Is it possible that they could come up once they present to the, I guess, to the public at Holland and Frenchtown, could they come out and present it to Del Val? Since we are okay to solve this piece of it?
Yes, I think that is, whether they're gonna present here or whether they're going to invite boards to their public presentation of the report, that's all being discussed.
Any other questions? Comments? Move on to public comment, abiding by the same rules. Seeing no hands, hearing no voices. I'll close public comment. Any further need to go into executive session, Mr. Kinner?
None.
Motion to adjourn, all in favor? Have a good night, everyone.